Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. I'm sorry that I have been gone for a couple of days now. I feel like I needed a couple of days to reset after doing some storm chasing a few days ago. So I don't know if you heard about the tornadoes in Indiana and Illinois, but my mother and I saw two of them together, and it's quite the experience. Needed some chill time after that, for sure. But moving on, there's some good news and bad news. The good news is that we don't have any severe weather in our foreseeable future here. The bad news is that winter is back, and it's not happy that spring tried to take over. So, first thing first, we're looking at the 500 millibar chart here. There is a very noticeable little shortwave trough off toward northwest here that's starting to move into the Dakotas, and that is just going to keep riding it southeastward down right into our area. That is going to kick its face right into our business, particularly as we head into tomorrow morning, early tomorrow morning, it looks like. And that should move out by tomorrow afternoon, it seems like. And then from there, we end up in this pretty straight zonal northwest flow pattern here, although that jet aloft is pretty close to our area, so that should be something to watch. Now, as we head down to the 700 millibar level, which is a little bit closer to the surface, that that low pressure system associated with that trough becomes very, very apparent. That's quite intense for sure, and I can't. I have to imagine that that is going to lead to some problems. And if you'll notice, actually, the model here is a bit slow to update, so it doesn't go all the way out to Saturday morning yet, but it's out far enough for now. Let's go to the 850 millibar level. Don't imagine much is going to look different, but yeah, this is confirming to me that we're going to have some high winds. We will take a look at those winds a bit more later, towards the end of the video, like usual. But this, to me, it tells me that we are going to likely have some rather strong winds as this system moves through tomorrow morning. Things will calm down behind it, though, at least temporarily. Now let's head down to the surface. Of course, temperatures right now are kind of in the upper 30s, potentially approaching the low 40s. But they're going to hang around there for the rest of the day and then cool off as we head into the evening. We may have a slightly warmer temperatures tomorrow morning with this low pressure system moving in, but it's moving so fast that it's not really going to have time to pull up much of that warmer air. And even then, there's not a whole lot of super warm air. It seems like just to the south in general, at least not that early in the morning. So temperatures might briefly hit 40 if we're lucky, but it should remain pretty cool. And then, of course, should get a fair bit cooler after the system passes. We look to drop below 30 at some point tomorrow evening. Again, this is quite the low pressure system, so I have to imagine that this is going to bring some wind and some precipitation for sure. But let's actually zoom in now, get a really good idea of those highs and lows. And yeah, today we look to be sitting in the upper 30s, maybe getting close to the 40s. There's this little tongue here that's sticking up, and maybe it gets a little farther north than expected. Who knows? But pretty cool today, rather cool comparatively speaking to the last couple weeks. Overnight temperatures aren't really going to drop too much. We're going to drop into the low 30s instead of chilling in the upper 30s. Then again, as we head into tomorrow morning especially, looks like is going to be the warmest period. We're going to be back in the upper 30s, again, potentially approaching those 40s. But then things are going to cool off tomorrow. Oh, hey, it finished loading. How nice. Things are going to cool off as we head into the evening and nighttime hours tomorrow. And by 7 a.m. Saturday morning, look at that, we're in the low 20s. Doesn't that sound so familiar and amazing? Doesn't it? Oh, man. That was a little sarcastic if you couldn't tell. I'm not happy to see that. Well, now let's take a look at the sustained winds. Well, actually, hold on. Let's look at the precipitation first. let's take a look at this precipitation. That's going to be a pretty important thing to look at. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of precipitation associated with this system, and it's just going to move right down into our area. It looks like the worst of it is going to be to our north, at least according to this run. But it certainly looks like we are in for a mix of rain and snow. Potentially, we're getting close to that heavier stuff just to our north, and at some point, yeah, right here, it even stretches down into our area. So light to moderate snow in the early morning hours, perhaps getting a little bit of rain right around the 7 or 8 a.m. time frame, and then it looks like some snow will continue to linger through the day on Friday. Now, Saturday, thankfully, at least in the morning, looks clear. And again, do remember that with that broad precipitation view, some details are lost. So if we look at some of the individual models here, you can see that there is a lot of precipitation covering pretty much the entire state as we head into tomorrow. And there are some heavier bands that look to reach down into our area. And even after the main punch moves through, there will still be a lot of lingering precipitation that we will be dealing with. And perhaps even some off to our south as we do head into Saturday morning. So maybe Saturday morning won't be entirely clear. It could be, it could not. But in general, there is a signal for a lot of precipitation just across all of the different models here. There's a main punch, kind of like a secondary punch behind it, and then some lingering stuff. So do keep that in mind, that it's not just going to be hit and gone. It's going to be lingering a bit. Now, because there are some heavier bands mixed in there, wherever those bands move over is where the highest snowfall is going to be, which is why we have quite a big range here. On the expected forecast, our range is half an inch of snow to a full 4 inches. Yeah. So, of course, we pull up the low end amount, and as you might expect, our low end is half an inch, so we should expect at least half an inch of snow with this system. And on the high end, we could be potentially looking at as much as 6 inches of snow. And off to our north, they're looking at more, 8, 9, even 12 up further north. So winter's back and it's angry. It is angry that spring tried to shove it out. Okay, now let's take a look at the winds. So these are the sustained winds, not the gusts yet, just the sustained winds. Things right now are pretty chill, around 15 or so miles per hour. And they should remain calm through the evening at least, but as we head into the overnight and towards tomorrow morning, things will pick up. Even the sustained winds, 25 to 30 miles per hour. And that, again, that's not considering gusts, and that will hang around for much of the day tomorrow. Though as we head into the evening and into Saturday morning, that will clear out quite quick. Now let's take a look at those wind gusts. I imagine things are going to look a little interesting here. So right now, gusts 20 to 25 miles per hour at most. Calm down briefly as we head into the evening, and then as we head into the overnight and towards the morning tomorrow, yeah, those gusts really pick up. We are looking at wind gusts, and this is the average wind gusts across all the models. So it's not even like the max. The average wind gusts across our area, 50 to 60 miles per hour. So quite gusty for sure. Now, and that is early morning. So this is 6 a.m. Well, actually, it would be 7 a.m. I forgot about the whole jump forward thing that we did like a week ago now, or just under a week ago, but you know what I mean. So I believe this would actually be 7 a.m. That we would be getting this strongest wind gusts. Now, the winds will start to calm, but even as we head into the evening, we're still looking at 40 to 50, perhaps even 55 mile an hour wind gusts. But as we head into the later part of the evening and into the overnight and morning hours, it starts to calm down. And by 8 a.m., not 7 a.m., because of the time change, 8 a.m., the wind gusts look to be down to 15 or 20 so miles per hour. And I presume with the low moving out of the area, these winds will continue to leave the area with it. Now, don't just take it from me. This is a high wind warning that is in effect for our area, issued by the National Weather Service in Grand Rapids, and it does call for winds of 25 to 30 miles, or yeah, 25 to 35 miles per hour, with gusts up to 60 miles per hour. So they're seeing much of the same thing. And so, of course, with that being said, damaging winds could blow down trees and power lines. Power outages, widespread power outages are certainly possible across the area. And of course, travel could be difficult in some of those more open areas where those winds will really want to shove those vehicles around. So do keep all of that in mind. Last but not least, we'll get into cloud cover. Things are partly cloudy here in the area now, and those clouds should clear out as we head towards the later part of the afternoon and into the evening. But as we start to head into the mid to late evening, those clouds will move back in, and it should remain cloudy for most of the period. Though, of course, if we happen to not be under one of the, no, it's going to be pretty cloudy tomorrow. What am I saying? It's going to be cloudy tomorrow. As we head into tomorrow evening, when the snow becomes more sporadic and kind of just the leftovers hanging out behind, then we could see some clearing if we happen to not be in one of the heavier bands, or if we happen to be outside of one of those smaller showers. And then that will continue to be the case, more so as we head into the overnight hours. More clearing across the state. But it looks like as we head into Saturday morning, we do have some more mid-level clouds starting to move over the area. So with that said, that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.